Good morning, folks. The time is 8:10 a.m. on the 28th of April, 2025. And of course, that's the 29th. For my friends on the other side of the planet there, my friends in Australia, my friends in the Gold Coast, my friends in Victoria, my friends in Melbourne. How's everybody doing this morning? Everywhere around the world, not just in Australia. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. My name is Lee. I'm the guy who started the group. Well, I thought it was funny. That group was so funny, we started it twice, and that was a good idea. So we've got two groups, my friends, and you know what? Between those two groups, we have more than 674,000 members. That is incredible. That's more people than many cities have as a population. So you know what I like to call us? If you watch these videos, you know what I like to call us. We're the funniest city on the internet. Population, you and I, my friends. Funny people in a funny place. And oh my gosh, we make people laugh, folks. We really do. And you know what? Cheers to us, because there's not too many other places that can say something like that or even close to anything like that. We rock because you rock, my friends. Thank you. So what are you up to, my friends? Guess what I'm doing today? Well, when I'm done editing this video and recording this video and all that stuff and then publishing this video, I gotta go out and I gotta vote. That's right. It is the federal election day today here in Canada. We're voting for a new federal government. I'm not gonna tell you how to vote. I know how I'm voting. You should know how you're voting by now, if you're even in Canada. But get out and vote if you're in Canada, because it's important. You know, everybody thinks their vote's not important. Well, if your vote wasn't so important, would you want them to take it away from you? No. Exercise your franchise, my friends. Make a mark. So that's what I'm going to do after this. I am going to go and, I'm going to go and vote. Well, no, first I'm going to make a phone call and book an oil change for my vehicle. That's right, I got to book an oil change this week. Boy, do I ever live on the edge of my seat here. Just the exciting life. Vote and oil changes, my friends. Important things. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm sure I'll throw a few other things in there too. You know, yesterday Wendy and I had a fantastic day. We went to the farmer's market. I was going to go try to get a signature, an autograph for one of my CDs by a guy named Jeb Fink, who was a stand-up comic and a radio personality here in town. He wasn't working. He has a called Jeb's Joint, and it's a pasta sauce place, and it's awesome actually. It's here in Calgary. Not affiliated, not getting paid for this, and Jeb doesn't even know I'm alive. So I mean, it's nothing like that. Just telling the truth. If you're in Calgary, get out to the Crossroads Market. And check out his sauces. They're great. And Jeb's a great guy, too, if you do talk to him. Like I said, I don't know him personally, but I have purchased stuff from him. And I just think it's cool that he does that. And I said he's really funny. So I'm going to go back next week with the wife. And hopefully he'll be there to buy some sauce. I want to get an autograph on that CD. And I think I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him if he'd be willing to tell a joke for the group. If I can get the courage up to do that. I mean, it's not like he's a giant celebrity or something like that. But, you know, I can be a little shy at times. Definitely going to thank him for being funny. Definitely going to buy some pasta sauce. And definitely going to ask for that autograph. And if he wants, maybe we'll get him to do a joke for the group, friends. I think that'd be awesome. That's what I'm doing. That's what we did yesterday. And what are you doing, my friends? What are you doing today? I'd love to hear it. Heard from Gail Countaway, that's our co-admin on both of our groups, that she was probably going to wash her car, do a little bit of running around, maybe give the car a wipe out, all depending on how she was feeling. Totally get that. Heard from Michelle Finnerty, and Michelle Finnerty was playing board games with her aunt over at her aunt's place. Said that was a real laugh fest. And she did get back to me about, I was asking about what one of the buildings was in one of her photos, not the last photo I shared, but the one before that. And I was guessing that maybe it was a mill or something like that. It's a pump house for the cranberry bogs by her place. So that's cool. Thank you for getting back to me on that. And folks, I want to know what you're doing today. Come on, why didn't you let us know what you're doing? It doesn't have to be anything in great details, like, hey, we're going for a walk, or you're like me, I'm going to go vote today, or maybe, maybe you work today, maybe, whatever it might be. I'd love to hear a little bit about you, folks. We're just trying to make a connection. We're not trying to, pry or anything like that. But if you do share it, there's a good chance I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, and I'd love if you did that. How do you share it? Just leave a comment on this video saying, hey, I'm doing this today or doing that today. And if you want to share some photos, I'd love that too. If you did share your photos, I would absolutely show them here if I can. I promise you, my friends. I do that all the time. And you know what? We also heard from my friend Dave Knapp, and that's a name you really should recognize. Dave gives me so many jokes to tell on this on these videos. It's crazy. It's awesome. But the over the weekend, I think it was on Saturday, if I get my days right, Dave was part of Arthur's Pet Pantry dog bone hunt. That's right, bone hunt. And it was a charity event to raise money for Arthur's Pet Pantry, which is, I erroneously called them a dog shelter or an animal shelter. They're not. What they are is they supplement lower income folks. They help them keep their animals in their house by helping them provide food and other animal accessories that might be needed for people that can't quite afford it. Keeping animals with their families as much as possible, which is fantastic. Keeps them out of shelters. Not anti-shelter. Shelters are very important, but they're always full. They're always, they're always full, folks. So if we can keep as many animals in the home, that's a great idea. So he said they went really well. I've got some photos to share. I got a photo here. Let's take a look at that. I got another one over there to take a look. Look at those two photos, my friends. It looks like it was a great weekend. Says the weather was a little inclement, but not too bad. And says it went well. I also, and I had said on that day during the video that I was going to make a donation. I had forgot to make a donation, my friends. Now I made one today. $20 Canadian. Unfortunately, that just comes out to under $14 American, but still I donated 20 bucks like I said I was going to, and there's my receipt right there, not to be a hero or anything, just to show that I actually did it. Putting my money where my mouth is, and you know what? If we're helping people keep their animals in their home, I don't mind helping at all. So there you go, folks. It looks like it was a success, and I think that's awesome. And then we've got a link in the hopefully I'll remember to put a link in the notes to this video where you have an interview with the folks from Arthur's Pet Planet talking about how the event went. So thanks, Dave. Thanks to everybody for sharing their days. And I want to hear about your day, my friend. As I said just a moment ago, I want to hear about your days. So just leave a comment on this video. Let us know what you're up to, my friends. All right. Now, I've got a couple of great posts, my friends. And these are from people that you will probably recognize their names. I'm just going to bring that up right away here. Now, I've got a post from Andrea Sali. Now, I have shared Andrea Sali's post, I think, maybe twice before. 2 posts from her. And one from Lizzy Grin, too. And Lizzy Grin, you should really recognize that name because I'm always sharing posts from Lizzy Grin. And I've mentioned Lizzy Grin's name before. I can't talk. And at the same time, Lizzy Grin shares great posts all the time. So, Andrea Sali and Lizzy Grin, I want to say thank you to both of you for your posts, and I'm going to bring them up right now. We're going to start off with Andrea's post because A comes before L in the alphabet, or at least I was told when I was a kid. So we're bringing up Andrea's right now. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Eclipse myself. I've wondered this myself, my friends. And if you watch these videos, you know I can be awkward. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Andrea. It's, yeah, I've been there. Okay, and the next one's from Lizzy Grin. Let me bring that up right away here. And once again, yes, it's home. It's true. Bring it up, make it a little bit bigger. I love these kind of posts. You know why I love them? Because they make me laugh. And that's the whole point of the group. Funny posts to make funny people laugh. So thank you very much, Lizzy. Thank you very much, Andrea. Folks, send in your stuff. If they make me laugh, there's a good chance they're going to get shared here. So just keep making people laugh. That's the whole point. And maybe, just maybe, we'll share your post next. And you know what? We're already making people laugh. We'll make some more people laugh with your post. Where the heck are we, folks? Let's see. I told you what the time was when we started this video. Then I told you what the date was on both sides of our beautiful round globe. Hello, Melbourne. Then, well, of course I introduced myself and I said I know who you are, but that was between that. And then I'm pretty darn sure I asked about your day, told you about my day, told you about my day yesterday, told you about Michelle Finnerty's day yesterday, told you about Gail Countaway's day yesterday, and then I also followed up with you on the Arthur's Pet Pantry dog bone hunt last weekend, and our friend Dave Knapp, Dave and his wife, volunteered to help out there. And I showed you my receipt. I donated $20. Why don't you donate, folks? Come on. Let's make this a banner week for them. Let's surprise Arthur's Pet Pantry and blow them away. You know, like, I'm not affiliated with them, but I'd love to do something amazing like that, my friends. Can you imagine if they just sort of take a look at their accounts? Holy smokes, my friends, I can't believe what happened here. I'd love if we did something like that. I don't know if we got enough people watching the videos to do, but if we do, let's make their day. Or their week, you know. It takes a while sometimes for the idea to disseminate. So yes, so we did that. I did that. That's true. You know, got you there. And boy, my train gets off the track easy, eh? And then I featured 2 great posts. One from Lizzy Grin, one from Andrea Sali. Both of them ones that made me laugh. Hopefully they made you laugh. And after that, well, we got to here. And from here, where do we go? I'll tell you where we go. We go to the bad jokes. What's a computer's favorite snack? Memory chips. But only a few bites each. A friend phoned me and asked me what I was up to, and I told him, well, I think I'm failing this driving test. Why do so many tennis players get divorced? Well, love means nothing to them. What do you say to the triangle player after the big show? Thanks for everything. I was in a restaurant and I asked the waiter, will my pizza be long? Because no, sir, it's most likely going to be round. Why do the French love eating snails? Because they hate fast food. I make my own pizza dough. I'd love to see it top that. I never thought I'd be the type of person who got up early and exercised. Turns out, I was right. I was in an 80s band called The Disease. We were better than The Cure. I still have my great-grandmother in my contacts. I think we should have waited for a less windy day to spread her ashes. I love telling those bad jokes, I really do. They're not all bad jokes. That's the title of the segment. I know, they started off bad jokes, and I definitely throw enough bad jokes in there to earn the title, so I'm not worried about that. But definitely some of those jokes aren't bad. And I gotta say thank you to my friend Dave for giving me some really good jokes. He provided me with 7 of our 10 jokes today. That's right, 7 of 10 jokes. That's, hey, 70%. Look at me with my math. Dave, thank you very much. I always appreciate when you send jokes because it makes the most difficult part of the video to put together a lot easier. And folks, I would love to tell your jokes too. I'm not just telling Dave's jokes. I tell the jokes that are sent to me. And oh, Dave, I appreciate you sending jokes, of course. But I'd like to tell your jokes too, folks. That's right. Why don't you send a joke or two to me at jokes@willithoughtitwasfunny.com. And you know, if I tell your joke, I'm going to give you credit for your joke. I don't steal jokes. That's why I'm telling people I got jokes from Dave today. And you know what? And I got the other 3 jokes from Dad Says Jokes, the funniest yet. This is from @DadSaysJokes on Instagram. Not affiliated. Nobody's paying me anything. If you want to, you can, but I'm just kidding. The only reason why I'm showing that off is because, once again, I'm showing my sources. You know, if you're going to tell somebody else's jokes, let people know you're telling their jokes. And that's what I'm going to do, my friends. Absolutely going to let people know I'm telling your jokes. So send your jokes to jokes@willithoughtitwasfunny.com. And you know what? You know what would be also freaking awesome? If you told a joke. That's right, told a joke on video, sent it to me, and I could feature that on here. And in fact, if I got 10 people doing it, I'm going to make a joke segment of just your jokes. All I'll do is come in and introduce the joke segment, and then it'll be taken over by you folks. I think that would be awesome. I think that'd be hilarious. Let's do that. And how do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you quick instructions on how to record a joke. You grab your phone. You pick up your phone. You click camera, so the camera's on. You make sure the front-facing camera is on, so you see your beautiful face looking right back at you. You hit video. And then you click record, and then you proceed to tell that joke while looking into the camera. And then when you're done, you stop the video, and then you go to that video and you click share. You share it by email, and you send that email. You share it by email, and you send that video to the same email address that I asked you to send those jokes to. jokes@willithoughtitwasfunny.com. Do it, my friends. It's going to be so awesome if we actually manage to get this done. If I get 1 or 2, well, I'll just feature them in the videos. It'll still be great anyways. But if I get 10 or more, like I said, we're going to have a joke segment made up of just you folks telling your jokes. I want to do that so badly. I think it'd be awesome. So send in your jokes and you telling jokes if you feel comfortable and want to do it to jokes@willithoughtitwasfunny.com. Let's do it, my friends. All right, folks, going to talk really quick about something. What is that something? That something is our store. That's right. We have a fantastic store where we've got stuff like these coffee cups. Look how awesome that looks. That's right. You can get yourself a coffee cup just like that and be cool, just like me. Or you could actually be cool. Yeah, we got these great coffee cups. You know, I've got t-shirts, I've got hoodies, I got these 3/4 rock sleeve shirts. Let me bring those up, folks. I love the way they look. Take a look at that. There's that 3/4 sleeve rock shirt. Why do I call it a rock shirt? Because it reminds me of concert shirts, and I love that style. Then we've got our t-shirt, fantastic t-shirt, and then we've got our hoodies. All three of those are super high quality. The print quality on those are fantastic. It's not some crappy iron-on, my friends. It's an actual print. Take a look at this, my friends. This feels like a hug to me. I've also washed this probably 50 times, and it looks like it did the day I got it. Really good quality products. Check them out, my friends. Really proud of them. And you know how I mentioned how we got a coffee cup? Well, we also have a to-go cup, my friends. It's a 25-ounce to-go cup. And, you know, keep your beverages hot, keep your beverages cold, depending on what you're drinking, and represent the group at the same time. That design looks fantastic. And you know what? We got something else. Something else I haven't talked about for a few days. We've got a tote bag. We've got a great tote bag. This tote bag is so great that Rose Glad let us know that not only is it good for toting around groceries and books, as you can tell in that picture, it's fantastic for toting around your rubber chickens. Tell me that's not a great endorsement, my friends. That is a great endorsement, isn't it? You know, I just love that, Rose. Absolutely. You know, and we've added something new recently, something brand new. Got some stickers. Sorry about the noise. We've got some stickers right there, my friends. Take a look at that. Fantastic. I bet you could actually zoom into that and scan that. Great stickers. I got one on my car. You can put them anywhere you want. Well, you know, within reason. And within the laws. Don't be annoying when you slap stickers on stuff. But stickers look great. And it says right on the bottom of that, the funniest place on the internet. Because that's what we are, aren't we? So, folks, check out our store. There's probably something there for you. Whether it's a coffee cup or a shirt or a hoodie or stickers or a phone case. Yeah, we got phone cases. Check it out, folks. And if you do purchase any of our products, I want to see you in that shirt or in that hoodie or flashing your coffee cup or that phone case or that tote bag, folks. You know why? Because I do think that design looks great. I'm going to tell you a true story. On the weekend, we went to go see a movie. Between the time I got to the movie and the time I left, four people asked me about about what this was. They thought it looked fantastic. They thought it was great. And you know what I did? I told them to scan the QR code that's in the bottom corner of my of the image on my sweatshirt, and they did. And all four people joined the group while I was there, folks. That was freaking awesome. Bet you could do that too. That's right. Check out our store, folks, and let us know if there's anything that you purchase. And let's see a photo of you in that shirt or that T-shirt and anything like that. Check it out, folks. All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening to that little spiel about the store. I do stand behind the products. They do look great, my friends, and you look great too. So the two together, wow, you're going to look amazing. I'm not a very good salesperson, am I? Let's stop that, and let's start wrapping up the video, because that's what I got to do, folks. It's actually my second attempt at wrapping up the video, because I did wrap it all up, and then I realized I had that awesome picture of Rose Glad. I left it up the whole time, and, well, it looks great, Rose. You probably would have thought, you know, enough, Lee. So, yeah, folks, we're going to wrap up the video. I'm going to repeat something, though. I'm going to definitely repeat something, and that's that thing that we're the funniest city on the internet. Population, you and I, folks. Funniest people. We're in a funny place, and we do make people laugh. We really do. We make a lot of people laugh, and you make me laugh all the time, folks. And when you make somebody laugh, you make their day better. So you make my day amazing, because I'm laughing all day. So thank you so very much, my friends. And have an awesome day. That's what I want you to do. Have an amazing day, my friends. I'm going to be here again tomorrow. Hopefully you're going to be here again tomorrow, too. Maybe we'll have a few new people. Even if we don't, we're already the greatest group in the world, the funniest group in the world, funniest group on the internet, funniest city on the internet. All the love, my friends.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I think it was funny.
Well, I thought 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 it was funny.